Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 things most humans can't do. Humans are all amazing. Some can do a lot with their bodies, while others can't do as much. But no matter how strong or determined you are, there are some things most people just can't do. So be sure to try these things out to test if you're a superhuman who can actually do these amazing things. But first, leave a like and subscribe, and comment I subscribed and I'll try to reply. Coming in at number 10, we have gleeking. This is something you may never have heard of, but it's amazing if you can do it. And it kind of sounds like it's related to the TV show Glee, but unsurprisingly it isn't. Gleeking is a trend in many middle schools and high schools right now. Gleeking is when you project saliva using your mouth like camels and llamas do. The way you can do this is by using your submandibular gland and compressing your saliva with your tongue. Most people do this by accident, such as when they yawn or when they open their mouth to eat food, or when you're being worked on by your dentist, which can get awkward. But only about 4% of people can do this deliberately. Try it now and see if you can do it. You probably can't, but don't worry, there is a way. First, eat some sweet or very sour candy to make it easier. You can then put pressure on your tongue with the roof of your mouth. Then open your mouth and you might be able to gleek. Don't be surprised if it takes a few tries though. So, where did gleeking originate? Well, as I said before, it's not from Glee. It's actually from a Shakespearean play where somebody gleeks on stage. Gross. Next up is nose twitching. Twitching on your face is normal. Some people do it involuntarily, but we can all do it if we try. Just try twitching your eyes and mouth. But one thing next to nobody can do is twitch their nose. This is more common than gleeking, as 7% of people can do it instead of just 4%. But it is still very difficult. One notable person who can do this is Samantha on the TV series Bewitched, who did it a whole lot. I guess if you can do something that only 7% of people can do, you'd want to show it off. Try it out, but you probably can't twitch your nose. But have no fear, it is something that can be learned. All you need to do is work on keeping all of your facial features still while you move them except for your nose. You will eventually be able to develop the muscles in your nose to do this, and it can serve as a pretty cool trick. Next up, we have open-eyed sneezing. We all sneeze from time to time. Who knows, maybe you even sneezed today. There's a few things that happen when you sneeze. First off, your nose ejects unwanted things from it. And secondly, you close your eyes due to the force coming from your nose. But what if I told you that some people can sneeze with their eyes open? It's a popular myth that if you do this, your eyes will pop out of their sockets. But despite what you may have been told on the schoolyard, this is false. Our eyes clamp down out of instinct whenever we sneeze to prevent germs from our nose entering our eyes. One notable example of somebody sneezing with their eyes open was on Mythbusters. As they predicted, their eyes didn't pop out, but it did look very weird. Try this out, but don't expect to succeed, as only 1% of humans can do this. Next up is tongue tricks. If you really think about it, tongues are a weird body part, and there's a few tricks with them that only 6% of people can do. And if you can do these tricks, then be sure to show a friend, because they look pretty awesome. One trick is called the reverse T. Flip your tongue 180 degrees, and then try and make a cloverleaf shape. This is a very hard tongue manipulation, but it would make for a cool party trick. Unfortunately, if you can't do this, you won't be able to learn, as it's genetic. You need to be born with great tongue strength and dexterity. Also, if you can do this, then your parents and your kids can too. 80% of people can roll their tongue, but only 6% of people can do these amazing tricks. One odd factor in the genetics of tongue tricks is that boys can do it way more frequently than girls. So, guys, get tongue rolling. Next up is touching your nose with your tongue. This is another tongue-related thing most people can't do, again proving that the tongue is one weird body part. Your tongue can touch all around your mouth, but there's two places your tongue just can't touch. That is your nose and your chin. Only 10% of people can do this. The reason why some can is because they have what is known as a gallin in their tongue, which enables it to be very stretchy. Tongues must always be long to do this, and it helps to have a good tongue dexterity. Sometimes doing this is a cool trick, but it can also mean you may have health issues. In some cases, people who can touch their nose or chin with their tongue have inconsistent connective tissues, but at least you can do a cool party trick. That's a good enough trade-off, right? Just try not to tie your tongue up in a knot. Next up is cinnamon. This is an uncommon human ability and is shown a lot through the cinnamon challenge. It may seem like a dumb internet challenge, but there is some science to it, and we're going to reveal the reason why most people can't swallow cinnamon and how you can do it if you want to wow your friends, or millions of strangers if you end up posting a video of it online. The reason why people cough out spoons of cinnamon is because it's burning the inside of your throat. Also, the amount of saliva needed to lubricate your mouth is outweighed by the amount of dry cinnamon in your mouth. Cinnamon is a form of tree bark which has been ground into dust, so you're almost literally eating sawdust. Yep, there's a reason it's only usually used as a cooking ingredient. In fact, one 4-year-old boy who tried the cinnamon challenge passed away due to choking. Some people can do it using a technique of taking a big gulp of water first, but as it is dangerous and doesn't feel good even if you can do it, I wouldn't recommend trying this at home. But if you do anyway, make sure you record it and send it my way. Next up is raising one eyebrow. This is something that seems so simple, yet it isn't. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson makes this look easy, but really only 7% of people in the world can do this. It can be great for comedic effect, or to show confusion or disapproval. The cool thing about this is you can actually teach yourself how to do it. You need to have a connection with your nerves and eye muscles. The way to create this connection is to hold one eyebrow down while raising the other one up. This will allow you to practice using the nerves and muscles. I wonder if The Rock did this, or if it's just a natural talent. All monkeys can actually raise one eyebrow, but they don't do it for fun or movies. They actually do it to show aggression towards other monkeys. I don't know how intimidating it would be if you did this to a tough guy though. On second thought, back then I don't think The Rock was very threatening to anybody. It sure makes a change from now. Next up we have fist in mouth. Have you ever been so hungry you could put a massive burger in your mouth? Well, did you ever think you could fit an entire fist in your mouth? Well, some people actually can, but it's a very unique trait that only 4% of people can do. And unsurprisingly, it's not all about the size of your mouth and fist. It's nearly impossible to do, but unless you have a habit of wanting to eat your own hand, it shouldn't be much of a hindrance. One group of people who can do this, however, are babies. Babies often try this while teething, which can be dangerous as they could choke on their own hands. If you can do this, you must have some baby-like genetics. But I wouldn't try this out unless you're confident you can pull it off. Something tells me your local hospital wouldn't be too keen on helping you out if you got your own fist stuck in your mouth. But if that does happen, tell the hospital staff to watch this video and they can see how few people can actually do this. Is anyone really hungry for some hands right now? Or is that just me? Coming up next is elbow licking. Romeo and Juliet, Isabella and Lorenzo, Jack and Rose, all people who wanted to be together but just couldn't. Well, your tongue and elbow are two things that want to be together but just can't. Or can they? Well, about 2% of them can. That is because 98% of you watching cannot lick your own elbow. If you're not in public, try this out, and I guarantee you won't be able to touch your elbow with your tongue. Well, you can still do it in public, you'll just look like a weirdo. It helps if you have a short upper arm and a very long tongue, but there are a few techniques you can adopt to lick your elbow. These include the positioning of your head and your elbow. Really, it's a unique talent that only a few people have, and no matter how hard some people try, they just can't do it, often because they have a very long upper arm. Sorry, long upper armers, but then again, I don't see your life being massively affected by not doing this. Or maybe I'm just saying that because I'm jealous because I can't do it myself. Next up is tickling yourself. It's one of the biggest mysteries of our bodies. You could be the most ticklish person on the planet, but you still wouldn't be able to tickle yourself. Well, unless you fall into the 4% of people who can actually tickle themselves. How fun would that be? And useful too if you ever felt down. Experts say there's a disconnect between nerves and the brain for some people, causing them to be able to tickle themselves. Yeah, that explanation doesn't sound as fun. The area of the brain is called the cerebellum and can monitor movements and motion. If it gets removed from some nerves at any time, you'll be able to tickle yourself. That is because your brain won't know it's you doing it, as it won't be able to sense the motion of your own hands. It sounds fun at first, but it could get inconvenient constantly tickling yourself by accident. I mean, just imagine accidentally tickling yourself at a really inappropriate moment and embarrassing everybody. And that just about wraps up this video. Check out the poll in the top right corner and you can vote for something you can't do. I couldn't do open-eyed sneezing, and from the looks of those photos, I wouldn't want to. Is anybody else really creeped out by that guy's face when he was doing that experiment? But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.